Good morning, good afternoon. I'm super excited to be here today, guys. And even though with everything going on in the world today and my heart being heavy, I am a sales trainer, professional speaker. A lot of my time this past week has actually been talking to my clients in Minneapolis, St. Paul, talking to my friends of color. I am married to a Black African, and I have three beautiful Black children, and my heart is heavy. Today, I don't normally talk about societal issues. I normally talk about sales training and specifically health and wealth and wisdom around business. However, I had a very powerful coaching session yesterday with my coaching clients. Every Monday, I start the week off for my clients to give them fuel for the week, positivity. Starting a clean slate every week is so important. And yesterday was definitely no exception. In fact, it might have been quite the need to help a lot of my clients, since again, most of them are in Minneapolis. And we talked about what was going on and how systemic racism is real and how there's so many people hurting right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, about the wrongdoing that was done to George Floyd. And I just want to say his name today and send my condolences out to his family. I don't know them personally. However, I raised my children in that neighborhood. I love Minneapolis, love the city. Being able to take my kids to a daycare that was less than a mile from the actual intersection where George Floyd took his last breath. We had their grade school was only about 2.5 miles from there. We lived blocks from there at one point before moving a few miles away, but still in the same area. Some of our gas stations have been burned down by anarchists. There's one of our favorite restaurants, our favorite Indian restaurant, right pretty much a couple blocks from the 3rd precinct that was burned down. That was our favorite date night restaurant in the neighborhood, and it was burned. It was destroyed. And the response of that owner is something I want to talk about today. And just the emotional intelligence and the vision that owner had. Gandhi Mahal is the name of the restaurant. I will be able to hopefully post the article here so you guys can take a look at the New York Times article in regards to his response. But it was beautiful and something that I think we could all learn from in this crisis, in this pain-filled moment. And I know a lot of people are grieving in their own way, and I want to acknowledge that that's important. I know my husband and I have had our own grieving process. We now live in Southern California, so we've been watching from afar. COVID, not allowing us to travel there right now, to be with our hurting friends and connections in our network. We lived there for 10 years. I lived there 3 years prior to that on my own. Had my first home that I purchased, was right in that neighborhood. So there's a lot of grieving going on. And yet in the midst of this, we see people like this owner of Gandhi Mahal who said, you know what, let my building burn. Buildings can be rebuilt. Human beings like George can't. And the reason I believe he had such a powerful, profound response to this is, number one, he had emotional intelligence and wisdom, which is a lot of what I talk about. His emotional intelligence and wisdom was based on his experience growing up in Bangladesh and a lot of police brutality. He had friends murdered when he was a young child or a young teen, and he came to America, to fulfill a dream, right? To be able to have this thing we call the American dream, right? And yet America is still having parts of its own nightmare right now. And yet because he had life experience, he learned empathy and compassion and love. Is really at the root of all humanity. He understood that this wasn't about his building burning down, and he wasn't angry, he wasn't depressed. In fact, he went into action and said, I stand with the protesters on this topic. Systemic racism needs to end. The police community needs to be reformed. And just so you know, I'm not down on any community. I believe we all are one. We all are connected, and we all can do better. I can do better. There's times and places for us to stand up to each other and say, hey, you need to do better. And that's all that's happening right now. And what needs to happen is reform. I do believe that more of us can learn from this. And once we kind of go through the grieving process, I actually hired a grief therapist recently and realized that, oh my gosh, no one deserves to grieve or go through this alone. And we can all recover from this. And we do it together as one, coming together to support, encourage, respect, and love one another, no matter what color you are, no matter what religion you believe or don't believe. I have atheist friends, I have Buddhist friends, I have Jewish friends, I have Christian friends, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have is if one race or one community or belief system says, well, we have all the answers, you should join us, you should be better, you'll be better if you come on over here. And to me, that's BS. We all have our own unique journeys in life. And that's why I love working with salespeople and entrepreneurs is we really do want that American dream. We do want the ability to be free and to make the money we deserve to make, or to give away the money we want to give away. I'm looking at different ways that I can give right now to Black Lives Matter and to other organizations, and giving of time and talents and having the freedom to do that. But getting back to one point I wanted to make today that I shared with my coaching clients yesterday was, do you have a vision? Do you have a vision and a hope for your future? I have found personally, no matter what's going on in the world, if I have a vision and it's clearly defined and it's written out and it's balanced, there is nothing that can stop me. Nothing that can stop me. And I'll give you some examples. During the recession of 2007, 2008, I lost my vision. I was lost because I had lost my real estate company. My mortgage company went under. We had done some investing into real estate properties here in the Southwest. And if you remember it was bad. If you saw The Big Short, you know that it was really, really, really bad. And I thought I had a vision, and I lost that vision. So I kind of wandered aimlessly. I got really, really sick. I had to start all over. And a lot of people are in that space right now, starting over because of coronavirus. Maybe you have health challenges. Maybe your stress is so bad, it's manifested some kind of disease, whatever may be happening to you right now. My heart is with you. I want to acknowledge you for fighting the good fight and just taking one step at a time, day after day. And the thing that helped me, it took me 5 years to recover from that experience. And I teach this story all the time. I don't want anybody to have to wander aimlessly for 5 years, not making money and being really sick. I mean, I manifested an autoimmune disease. And through that process, I found people who helped, people who had compassion, people who understood, people who had empathy and met me where I was at. And thankfully, once I figured it out and I was open and I was humble and coachable and sick and tired of being sick and tired, I was able to get to the best version of myself. At age of 33, I got to the best version of myself. And now I'm 42. That was 9 years ago. I've never looked back. Since 2011, I've had a clear purpose, a clear vision, a clear passion. I've stumbled and fumbled across, along the way, like we all do, right? Life throws you curveballs. However, it was because I had a clear vision. So I ask you, what is your vision for 2020? we kind of like to use that, adage, what is your 2020 vision? Do you see it clearly? Are you unclear? Have you been shaken? Have you not been able to pivot? Maybe you're not used to working from home. Maybe you've lost your job. I understand my husband got laid off 4 times in the last 10 years. It was hard. It was hard on our marriage. It was hard on him. And yet we came through it because we were a united front. We had a clear vision. Even if you're single, what do you want? What do you want to create this year, next year, the year after? I encourage my clients all the time to write a 1-year vision, 3-year vision, 5-year vision, even 10-year vision. I have my vision pretty clear for 2030. 2020 might seem like a crapshoot right now. However, you can future-proof yourself. You can come back from this. I believe in you, in the human spirit. Given the right tools, you can heal yourself. Your body can heal yourself. Given the right tools, you can future-proof and recession-proof yourself. Use this time to study and reflect. Gain clarity. If I can give you some free coaching tools, you can absolutely check out my podcast, Healthy and Wealthy and Wise.com. Check it out. Visit, tune in. I have powerful 2 interviews this week with some thought leaders, some actually world famous leaders known by millions of people on Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central Time with Dr. Ivan and Beth Meisner. And we're going to be talking about their journey of beating cancer. They both had cancer. Talk about how they pivoted in 1985 when they just had a newborn baby. He lost his biggest client. They just bought a home, so they had a mortgage. He was 26 years old, and he had to pivot. So we're going to talk about how you can pivot and grow and lean into that social capital. I think I misspelled that, so I'm going to type that in, healthyandwealthyandwise.com. If you can't attend live, I can send the recording to you. If you're struggling with your day-to-day life, please let me know. I would love to send you a copy of my daily compass and guide. Writing your day down before you start it, reflecting, having a morning ritual, writing your vision down daily. I even record my vision on my phone. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's the first thing I listen to every day. If I don't hear it in the first thing in the morning, if something throws me off of my morning ritual, because yes, I'm a mom, life happens. You might even hear my kids in the background here shortly. I'll do it later in the day. It doesn't matter. If we treat ourselves with kindness and grace, we get better. If you allow yourself permission to be fluid, allow yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them and shake yourself off, and tomorrow's a new day. Yesterday ended last night. Maybe you had an argument last night. Maybe you didn't sleep well last night. I didn't sleep well last night. Life is always happening. There's never nothing going on. And I encourage you that you matter. You have a vision and a purpose. You are here on this planet to manifest some great and amazing dreams and goals, and potentially, I might even say, miracles for yourself. I'm here. I'm in your corner. I want to encourage you to be kind to one another. And it all starts from within. If you're kind to yourself, it's so much easier. Trust me, I was so hard on myself for so long. It was the nature that I was raised with, to be very, very hard on myself. And it continued. And then I was hard on my husband and hard on my kids and hard on other people. Once I softened and recognized that and started to love myself and to be kinder and gentler to myself, it was authentic and easier for me to be able to be kind and gentle to others. And if there's one thing that I can say about all that's happening right now, I fully support the protests. I fully support people peacefully protesting and being able to mourn and go through this process. And, the white supremacists, the anarchists, whoever is behind these militia gangs, I wish them kindness too. because it's obvious they don't understand kindness and love and peace and gratitude. So be the change you want to see in the world. Start your day with gratitude. End your day with gratitude, no matter what happened. Find a way to call someone up and ask, how are you doing? I've had some friends call me because they know we're a biracial family and they know that we lived right in the thick of where everything went down in Minneapolis. And that is what I'm talking about, is when in doubt, reach out, love one another, be kind to yourself and others, be the change you want to see in the world, write down your vision every day, gain clarity. If you want a free coaching session, I offer a one complimentary free 30-minute session to all who come into my world and universe. You don't have to be a business owner. I actually started working with someone who works with the a police department, and she wants to, she's considering leaving and wanting to start a new business of her own. And so I was helping her start the new business, and the coaching tools that I shared with her, she really got excited because it's something that maybe she can go and turn and train the police department on some of these things that I teach. And that's what gets me excited and gets me out of bed every day. So you never know what you do or say can speak and breathe life into that next person you meet. And when you have a vision and your heart is excited about that, oh my gosh, it's easier to be kind. It's easier to be gentle. It's easier to be loving. It releases hate and fear. And as we know, there's nothing to fear but fear itself, right? That old saying, and it's true. So I wish you health and wealth and wisdom today, my friends. Please tune in, healthyandwealthyandwise.com. I don't always do a live show. I may be doing them more and more with the state of everything happening, to just give you guys encouragement and support. Have an amazing day. Go out, be kind, be gentle, and follow your heart. Have a great day.